Hey, welcome back. My name is Jeremy, and I've been recently renovating my dad's house that we inherited. But today I wanted to talk about something different. And also, I needed to run some errands, so I want to take you along with me. Let's go by the post office. I got to drop some packages off, and then we'll go to Lowe's and pick up some things for the house. We're here at Lowe's. Let's go in and get a few things for the house. This is the first time I'm taking the camera in a public location, so it's a little strange for me. But you know, to face your fears, right? You just got to do it. And also, the other day, I know I only got close to 5,000 subscribers, but it felt weird. The other day, I actually got recognized somewhere. Well, not somewhere. It was actually Lowe's at a different location. A guy walked up to me and asked me, "You look and sound familiar. Do you make videos redoing a house that you inherited?" I said, "Yeah." And yeah, it's strange. The first time I ever got recognized off the internet, so that was strange. And it makes you realize that there's real people. The other side of the camera is real people. It's not just numbers. Although our comment all the time back and forth we talk, it just feels different when you meet somebody in person that's seen you online. That was new for me. So let's go in and get a few things. Alright, I'm here to get some floor vents. I think she liked this kind here. And I believe we need 9 4x12s. 4x12. Get 9 of those. Well, at least we get a discount. They're expensive. Dang. And 2 of these. So need to get a door handle for the 2 doors. We already got security keypad for the front door. And we already got the door handle for the front door. We have to get the other 2 doors. They don't have to be as fancy, but dang, they're still kind of pricey. This one, we have levers on all the other doors, so that probably match better. But dang, $60 each. Even this one's $59. So I guess we can always bring it back if it. But it can lock. It's got a key. So we need 2 of those. I think that's all. We got 2. Got all the vents. Also, I need 2 sets of hinges to go on the door to match. I just had to call the contractor at the house so they can measure the door hinges. I wasn't sure what size. They have 3.5 and 4 inch rounded corners and sharp corners. I wasn't sure which one I had to call them, but he told me 4 inch rounded corners. And they have them right down here. They're about $5 each. I need 6 of those, 3 per door. So we're back in the car, headed home. Got about a 30-minute drive to get back to the house. I'm going to drop these things off to the construction crew that's working on the house. They're getting a lot done. But yeah, for these vents and the doorknobs, it's like $400. So basically everything I made here off YouTube so far. But I appreciate anything, and it helps. So thank you for the views and everything like that. Uh, hey, I appreciate anything. I wasn't even suspected to make money on YouTube yet. It's only been a few weeks, so I'm gonna keep on doing it. It will. I don't care if it pays for my gas or insurance. I recommend anybody doing it. Just pull out a camera and do it. But that's not really what I wanted to talk about today. I want to talk about 5 years ago. I quit my job and started working for myself, and I just had a newborn baby. So that was a big decision. So our daughter was just born, and I had maternity leave available to spend time with my daughter. Um, and I started taking that a little bit at a time. And I took about a month of that. I got 3 months available where I was working. I took about a month at the beginning. I had 2 other months available. So in the meantime, we was starting an online business. We was starting to sell on Etsy, just trying to make a side hustle, so my wife could make a little money on the side while she was staying home and taking care of our daughter. So that was the initial thing that we wanted to get started, so she can have something to do and make a little income on the side and make her own income. So that started taking off. It was getting more work than she could do by herself. So it was getting close to Christmas time, and I decided to take off my other 2 months, just November, December. And, work wasn't very happy about that, but they couldn't stop me uh, because I just, because of maternity leave. I was FMLA, I guess it was. I'm not sure, but it was, they had to let me do it. And at that time, I spent time with my daughter, but also we put all our energy, extra energy, into making our store the best it could make it. And we was, on a time crunch, and we had to see if we could make enough income off of that to be okay. Uh, so first thing I wanted to say, this was somewhat planned, but not planned. Um, so about a year and a half before our daughter was born, we was building our house, and we was building it a little bit at a time. I was wanting to do it with my own cash. I didn't want to borrow any money. So we was working side jobs. I was driving for Uber and working my full-time job and everything, trying to put every extra cash I could have toward building the house, getting that house done, which the bank told me I could borrow the money on it and build it how I want to, but I didn't really want to do that. So I told her, let's just build what we could afford, cash. I don't care if it's too small. Let's just do it. And So, and I had that camper. So I sold that camper. I mentioned in my previous videos, and I put that money toward it also. So we was preparing ourselves, not getting in debt, being able to build this house with cash, putting all our extra money toward it. So we got the house built, moved in it, and after we moved in it, got everything how we wanted it, I saved up probably $10,000, and that I had in the bank. And our daughter was born, and this was kind of unexpected. I was really want to save up more than that before I wanted to start my own business or took that risk. But this kind of fell in our laps, and it started making more. We started making more on Etsy uh, than I was at work. I knew it could not be stable. It might not be stable, but everything was paid off, and I wanted to spend more time with my daughter because that kind of threw me back to when I was a kid. Uh, my dad, he provided a really good, you know, everything we could want growing up, uh, but he worked away from home a lot. So 2 weeks at a time, he'd come home for the weekend and left again. So my mom did most of the house stuff and everything like that. I never really went anywhere with my dad and everything. So that kind of had an effect on me. I didn't want to do that, so I wanted to be at home as most as I can. Um, so that really was a big reason. Although I had a local job, I was working in maintenance at a factory. I worked my way up and took the test and got into maintenance, so that has potential there. But at the same time, I wanted the freedom. So during that November, December, I took November and December off, and we just went at it and started making double what I was making at work, and that made me about another $10,000. So it was like 20,000 or so in sales, and we had about 10,000 at the end of that. That's really, it took almost 10,000. I took almost all my money to invest in buying supplies and everything in this business. So I basically spent everything I had to start this business up for her uh, at the beginning. And then as it grew, I purchased more and more. But luckily enough, we made that money back before the end of the year. So we had that $10,000 back in our pocket, inventory, the machines we needed. I didn't go back to work. I took maternity leave and didn't even go back. And people, thought we was crazy or anything like that, but I wasn't really stressing about it. Like worst case scenario, I'll find another job. It's kind of crazy, the coincidence, because the factory I was working at in maintenance, they ended up shutting down shortly thereafter. And I know a lot of people that started an Etsy store that's not even that, that's just a little side hustle. I really don't know. We just kept at it, kept on adding new products. We have over 1,000 listings in the shop, and I would never thought it would have grown as big as it is right now. We tried our own website, and it was costing more money to keep that going. And Etsy was the easiest thing, was the highest profit thing, although they did charge fees and everything. But we just accounted for that, and they supplied the traffic. So it was a little bit easier on there. And we still sell on Etsy right now. So we tried selling on Jane. If you're ever familiar with Jane.com, um, they went out of business. So that was like a side income for us there, but they went out of business. So over the years, we grew our store, we grew our machines. I believe we have 4 machines now, and the value of those are like $100,000. We started out with 2 small machines, probably worth $3,000. We kept on investing a percentage into the business. Now, I can't even believe it. We have that expensive of machines that are paid off. At the beginning, I started leasing them, uh, you know, and eventually I put money to the side, and we just bought them outright. So I can't believe on where we came from and where we are now. And really, it feels like everything happens for a reason, because although 5 years I did this, spend more time with my daughter, but around that time, my dad, he started having the health problems. So he needed my help more, taking him to the doctor's appointments, and everything like that. And he came down with the liver cirrhosis. So I was able to take him to all the doctor's appointments and spend time with him. And whenever he went to the hospital, in the ICU toward the end, he spent a month in ICU. And I was up there all day, 7 o'clock in the morning till 7 o'clock at night, 12 hours a day, every day. I didn't stay the night there because I had to come home and we had to work at night. I had to stay in the house with our daughter, and my wife had to go out and do the orders. So we had to work at night. My wife had to work at night, and then I was at the hospital during the day. So we was still working, but I was able to do that. If I was working somewhere, most likely I was be able to take off FMLA to spend that time at the hospital, but more than likely I wouldn't have got paid. So we kept the income going and coming in, and I was able to do that, take care of my dad. Now let me know in the comments if anybody else sells full-time on Etsy or tried to sell on Etsy and it didn't work. But on Etsy, I mean, I'm telling you this just to, motivate you, anything like that. We had to keep going. We had to keep posting a new product at least 3 times a week. I don't know what that does, but it's like tells Etsy that you're doing something. And we stayed with the niche product. At the beginning, we were trying everything, trying to make everything, and we realized really quick we wasn't making any money because we was buying a bunch of supplies. We was selling things, but we was trying a lot of things at the same time. So it spent all our profit on buying new things, on trying to make stuff, and spending a lot of time. Some things took way too long to do. Although you can do it and it looks cool at the end, it just took way too long to do for the profit that's made on it. So we decided to really niche down to 1 or 2 products and be really good at those. I think that'll be my suggestion to anybody. Just because you can do it don't mean do it. Pick 1 or 2 things that you're really good at and that's good profit, and just keep pushing it. Once we get our house sold and get moved in my dad's house, we're still going to be selling stuff on Etsy. And now my daughter is 5 years old, and I would be open-minded to get a regular job and do this on the side now, mainly for the benefits, because the insurance is expensive, being self-employed, and also taxes and everything. Um, but we'll see where it goes. We're gonna get set up at the new house there after we get moved in, and look at everything and see if it would be beneficial for me to go back to work somewhere, and then we can see how the Etsy store is doing then. And also keep this in mind, we knew it was risky the whole time. So all this time we put a percentage of the profits in an account and just saved as much money as we could. We made sure to stay out of debt, pay cash for everything we could, because you don't never know when your shop will close, because you're not in control. You can try as hard as you want to, but I would keep as much money as you could, but also also grow, because Etsy is really bad about shutting your shop down for no reason, and then you don't know what to do. So it's never happened to us, but we always prepared for it. So if it shut down tomorrow, it would suck, but at the same time, I'll be okay with it. We have some money saved. We're prepared, and I'm thankful that it was there to provide us income while my daughter was a baby, and also while my dad was sick. So those two things right there, I'm just glad that I was able to do that. So yeah, just be prepared for that. Just to give you some numbers, uh, we did over, since we started, I know we did over $1 million in sales on Etsy. So I think last year it was like over 300,000 in sales. Of course, that's not all profit, and I purchased those machines and everything like that, and also bought new products. You have to buy a bunch of products ahead of time too, so you have money sitting in inventory. So also, we gotta live. So all the bills, having a family. So I thought I'd just say that. If you have any more questions about it, I can answer them in the comments or make a separate video. I was really thinking about making a separate channel to talk more about business in just a regular guy setup. I'm not trying to be no influencer or financial guru. I'm not trying to do none of that. I'll just straight up tell you what worked for us, and also. But I'm not sure. I'm going back and forth on making the new channel or introducing some of that on here, because I know most of y'all that's watches this might be here for renovating my house. So I may end up making another channel for being self-employed and everything, and more details about it. Well, about 3 more miles and I'll be at the house. And if the ones that are still here, here's a sneak peek of what the house is looking like. Here's the stove and microwave. And here's a picture of the countertop after it's been polyurethane. It's not as glossy now because it was wet when I took that picture. But here's gives you an idea on what it looks like. He might have the refrigerator installed by now, but I can't wait to make that video and show y'all what that's looking like. It's looking a lot better. But my next video is going to be about the update on the house, I believe. So thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content, hit the subscribe button and like button, and thank you so much. I'll see you on the next one.